folks, Brad here from Orders from Headquarters. How are we doing today? Well, I got a call from the major earlier saying she needed a garden basket. And I was like, okay, got any in mind? She's like, yeah, I kind of got one in mind. It's got a slats on the bottom and it's got a handle in the middle. Okay. And I was like thinking to myself, they got names for them. When I look at them online, they had like a name called a hod and a trug. But back home, we just called them garden baskets. So I'm just going to make her a garden basket. They can be used for flowers. They can be used for vegetables. They can be used for several things. I've seen them for gathering eggs. So let's get busy. Let's make one of these. Today, we're going to use a few different things. So today, these are the things we're going to use. I have 2 pieces of 1x5 that are about a foot long. I have one dowel rod. It's a 1-inch dowel rod. It's about a foot long as well. I got several different little boards that are scrap boards that are going to make this box. I figured it's going to be a simple, easy box. When we get finished, it's going to look something similar to the one I made the other day. It's going to look like this. So there's not much to it. So why don't you get your gear and meet me by our table saw. So we're going to start this project off cutting some of this scrap down to 1.5 inches because I'm going to need it for the bottom of the basket. So every one of these strips is 1.5 inches. So I'm going to turn these little scraps that are screwed up and broken, and we're going to turn them into some 1.5 inches. So let's go. I need my PPE, so stand by. Here we go. There, that should give us plenty for this project. There might be a little scrap cut out because there's a couple little rot spots I see, but for the most part, I think I can get a couple 20-inch pieces out of it, and that's what we need. So, stand by. Now, when we got to mark these, I want to make them 20 inches because that's what my diagram calls for. But I want to cut them in 20s till after I route them. So I want to put a 1/4 inch route on each side of these. I want to route this side, this side, this side, and this side. And like I said, I should be able to get at least 2 out of each one of them long ones and maybe 3. So stand by. So I set up my boards for having so I can do some routing. I got a quick clamp on this side, my Craig clamp over here. I'm just going to route. I'm going to do both ends close so I can get, call it good. I got a 1/4 inch router, set a round over bit, and I'm going to route it. We'll flip the board over and do it again. Now that we got them all rounded over, I'm gonna cut them all to this length. And I've already measured this one. It's 20 inches because that's what I planned on. I just wanted to see if this was a leftover from yesterday. So we're basically gonna cut 20-inch strips out of these. So I could probably get. I'm gonna get 2 out of here. I just want to make sure I get the best parts of the boards because one of these had a rot spot in it. I don't really want to use it. Now here's a teaching technique. Now when you're looking at cedar, whether it be a picket or you get it from a lumberyard, if you see any of this black going down, it's usually rot. That's not a good thing. However, it's not the end of the world. This is still solid, but you never know until you cut into it. Because when you cut into them, you're going to end up with a hollow spot at some point in there. But that black mark is an indication of rot somewhere in this wood, and it'll cape down in through there. Now, that doesn't mean this is necessarily bad because I can't get my thumb through it. So I'm going to use it, but this part down here is going to definitely get cut out of my project. So next step is I still have the sides to cut out for the edges. These are just basically 1-bys that are 20 inches long. I'm going to round over both ends of it and the corners. Do both sides, send it, make them all rounded. I'm also going to need a piece for the middle, but I haven't cut that yet. So we'll get to that when we get there. So I took that chunk off that I thought was going to be rotten. Well, there is rot up here, but it doesn't show to go down the wood like I thought. So we're good there. I'm not going to have to worry about the rest of that board. The rest of that board's still good. So you just got to look for them black spots because it'll definitely lead you to a rot spot. So just letting you know. I lined all my boards up with the little one on the top. It's 20 inches. Here we go. One more time. Take one off. Do it again. I need 6 of these, so I'm going to have to cut one more somewhere down the line. There we go. So we have all 6 of them. They're all routed. We should be good to hook. So the next part we got to cut is this rounded over part here. And that's where, here, I'm going to show you how I got that. Now, I took my 12-inch board and I measured up 1 inch. Because that gives me the length of this board right here. So they're going to be even. I didn't do that on that last one. That's where that little gap in there came from because I went with just just an off my head measurement. It wasn't the right one. Well, this time I adjusted it so it's going to be right. So I marked my board right there and I measured up. It's 1 inch. Then I decided I was going to go 3 inches over on each side. So you got 1 inch up, 3 inches over. I'm going to end up cutting them out on my bandsaw. And I got to fix that other one, or I'll just cut them both at the same time. There we go. Just like that. So, the next thing we need to do is kind of put this thing together. We got to get a couple of these. I need to get a few things lined up, and I'll meet you right here. So, I got these set up. I got the first one. I got set at 7/8 of an inch from the end. On both ends, these are all 7/8. And then, I'm going to have to adjust them so they're even. And I'll give you a measurement because I kind of like having stuff even. It doesn't always necessarily work out that way, but I want it close. So I'm going to put brad nails in for temporary hold because I'm coming right behind it and screwing it in. But I'm only going to screw one screw in each one. So I'm only going to put one brad nail in each one. I don't even think I need that. But I'm going to. And I'm using really long brad nails. So I believe they are inch and let's see. These are the ones I had from my Bostitch. I got my 18 gauge brad nailer, and they are, how deep is it? 1.5 inches. That's what I thought they were. But I didn't want to tell you the wrong size because I use several different all the time. So now that I got this side nailed, I kind of want to go back and measure, so I got them both the same. Right there. Put me a nail in. And you're going to ask me how come I'm not using glue. I'm not going to use glue on this one. I figured there's no need because I'm going to put screws in it. If I was just using the brad nails, I'd say yeah. I just don't. I don't know what people are going to put in these or what I'm going to put in it. So I'm going to go and be on the safe. I'd put glue and screws. All right, so that's that part of it. Now, originally I'd planned on putting 6 of these in. I'm not gonna. How'd that come off so weird? I messed this one up. Glad I brad nailed, because brad nails will come out. So I'm going to put another brad nail here on the side just to hold it. One there, and one on this side as well, because I don't want this moving around. So that part will hold till I get the other side. One more time, brad nails. Put my sides on, make sure they're even. one there. Now, I'm gonna screw these. So, one thing I've learned about using cedar is you need to pre-drill. And pre-drilling is your friend. So I'm using my handy dandy little screw gun with a 1/8" bit. I'm gonna put 2 screws. Get that new DeWalt out, do a little regular screw. Get a bunch of these little 2" or 1.5", whatever they may be. Let me check for you. I will today be using a 2" screw. They're regular Phillips heads. It's going to be really ginger because it is cedar, and cedar has a tendency to split even though I pre-drilled it. So to make the handle, we're going to need to cut this at 14 inches. Line it up. There's 2. So, now, the design that I used on that one has almost like a paddle effect. To get that, I used something round. So, I had a bunch of these cutouts from handles that I'd cut out for a box that I made. And I thought that'd be the perfect shape. So basically it's a 2" circle. So I started up the top, got in the middle, traced it. So, with that being said, I used my 1" dowel to see where I liked where it would sit, and I marked around it. Then, I went to my hole saw bits, or not hole saw, I used my Forstner bits. And I found one that would fit the hole. I made a test pilot in a piece of wood and grabbed my dowel. That fits in there pretty good. I'm gonna end up putting a screw through the end, but you see it fits right in. And that, I don't want to drill all the way through, and then my brad point didn't go through. What I found out while cutting through this cedar is if I went the width of my Forstner bit, it was just perfect where I wasn't going through, and I had just enough meat to catch the screw on the other side. And I'll show you. Just let me get this going, and we'll go from there. But first, before we even do that, we need to cut these. I want to cut these on the bandsaw because I'm feeling that lucky. So I got my my Fastener bit ready. Tighten up a little bit. Perfect. Now that we got those done, we're gonna have to take my little bit, my 1 1/8, or my little 1/8 inch bit, put it in. Now I wouldn't have to drill this out. I just don't really want the handle spinning. And I want to know where that hole's at. So, my dowel rod will fit in like such. Now, I got to figure out where exactly I want this. I want it in the middle. There. Clamp to hold it. Go to the other side. Where's my tape measure? There it is. Seven and a quarter. Right there. Puts me where I need to be. I'm gonna put a screw, I'm gonna use my drill and put a screw in, pre-drill it. Grab me one of my 1 1/4 screws. Definitely need to spend more time sorting out my screws. Got some different sizes going on in here. There's one. Now, to make this easy, we're going to end up putting that screw in through that top hole. Perfect. Now, other than a whole bunch of sanding, we're going to be done. Now, one of the questions I have for my audience here, and if you stayed this long, I want to know what you call these things. Now, where I was from, they were called not Easter grass, but vegetable baskets or garden baskets. I come up to Maine, they're called hods, hod basket, but they also use them for hod and clamming. I also heard them called trug. So if my viewers can let me know what I should call these things, because I really don't know what they are, other than a basket. They can be used for flowers, they can be used for eggs. There's all kinds of different things. I'm going to be making a couple different ones of these. So I want you guys to catch me on another video, because I got a couple different plans for these. I'm going to do a wire basket one, what I really liked. I seen it yesterday, but I really want to try that one out. I really like this design. I mean, it's quick. Clamp off. This thing is stout. You're not going to tear it apart. It's not going to go anywhere. It's going to be heavy, or it's light enough. It's lightweight cedar. You can make this out of a picket. I highly recommend using the pickets. And this is, I don't really like that part of it. I think I might cut that little edge out. But if you don't, you can leave it. It's not going to be a big deal. But I got to do a bunch of sanding on these anyway, because I don't like this part. But for the most part, this is an easy, simple project. I highly recommend getting out in the shop and make one of these. I think your wife or whoever, your other, will like it. So get out and shop. Make some trods, hods, trugs, whatever they're baskets, whatever you want to call it. Go make some.